Well, I was just trying to speed up the process.
That's right.
I didn't want to drop them.
259 pounds.
Miss Terry, you right here.
Yeah.
Switch with go on the inside of there. Or it don't matter.
They got a little short one right up there. That works out just
There's
fine.
your spot.
You got it?
Can I wait? I think the boys are going to come up and do a big group, boys and girls. So boys, y'all come on up. Wasn't my idea.
Huh?
Wasn't my idea.
That was yours?
No, that's what they told me to do.
Oh, they wanted to do that. Want to put them together. Good.
Make them kneel down.
Yeah.
Yeah, make the boys kneel down.
Shit, you ain't gonna be able to get them from the podium.
I was about to say.
Yeah, you won't be able to get them, I guess. Left knee.
Drop a knee.
Left knee. Left knee.
What about the one to the right?
I guess you got it, Mr. President?
Got it.
All right. We'll leave you out now.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Done.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. No, CAG, the bowling team.
I heard him say it. I heard you say it. You said it right after. Thank you, Coach. Hey, Coach. Oh, this, Marcus.
Marcus.
Marcus. Okay. That's Tom.
And congrats to the Dutchtown boys and girls soccer team once again. I was starting to get a little nervous, that many Griffins up here. Whew. All right, moving on to item 5C, Certificate of Recognition for the Dutchtown High School Bowling State Champions.
Yeah. Folks, is this working? Okay. Folks, it is truly an honor to be here tonight and to present these certificates of achievement to the bowling students, athletes for Dutchtown High School. Just to give you a little bit of stats that I was presented with. The Lady Griffins wrapped up the season with a point record of 395 to 37. Phenomenal. They had a perfect season. They were undefeated, 12-0 in the regular season, undefeated 4-0 in the postseason. They were a 2023 High School Invitational Baker champions, state record for the highest two-game series, state record with every player, all 10 of the girls qualifying for the state singles competition. That's amazing. And of course, these girls are the 2023 Louisiana High School Athletic Association state champions. Round of applause. I'll call your name if you would come up one at a time, please. Addison Acord. Jada Alday Logue. All day. Emma Bowman. Emily Diaz. Sydney Lee. Addison Legendry. Is that correct? Legendry. Sorry, Addison Legendry.
Congratulations, Alice.
Layla Lejeune. Abigail Matthews. Allison Olivier. And Ashton Yoches. All right, one more big round of applause. These girls are state champions. Unbelievable. You want to take a picture with you? We got a decision to make. We can take a picture with them, and then we're going to bring up the singles winners profile. You want to do it all together?
Yeah.
That'd be good? That's okay with y'all? They did quite well in the singles as well. The girls had quite a few of their players qualified for singles, which is hard to do in the first place. But I'm going to start out with the champion, Dutchtown High School sophomore Sydney Lee, state champion, 2023 singles. Congratulations. And third place, Ashton Yoches. And fourth place, Addison Lejeune. Congratulations. And on the boys' side, Preston West, a junior, finished runner-up, second place. Now, Preston couldn't be here. Okay, we're going to get everybody up, take a picture. I'm going to get them later. Let me do that. While we're doing that, we're getting ready for the picture. I want to bring up, of course, the coaches. These girls performed phenomenally, but they had good leadership, cool heads on the sidelines, as we say. Head coach, Corey Leday. Oh, I'm sorry, assistant coach. I didn't get the head coach. And assistant coach Karen Beam. Thank you so much. And the head coach, I don't have a name. She's the head coach? Wow. I was given bad information. I do apologize, folks. But here, we're going to take a picture. Give them another round of applause.
Girls. Congrats to you girls. All right. Presentations. Moving along to item 5D, certificates of recognition for the West Ascension Biddy Basketball National Championship 10U runner-up. We're going to have Coach Alvin Thomas and Mr. Joe Robert hand out these certificates.
First, I'd like to thank God this afternoon. I want to thank the council and thank the parents that have come out today. This is an honor as well as a privilege to be able to recognize some young gentlemen, young future leaders of the West Bank and of Ascension Parish. We are very happy to be here, and I would like to at this time ask that Mr. Butler come up and allow himself a few minutes to give us a rundown of the situation that we had with the boys at this time.
Thank you. It's been a long road, y'all. Just to go back to tell the parish president, thank you again. We're back again. He just saw us a couple of months ago with flag. We won the championship in flag, so progress is moving forward, all right? First of all, I want to thank my parents because none of this would be possible without you, first of all. Secondly, I want to thank Coach Thomas, the city of Downsonville, and the parish for allowing us to produce our talent the way we do, okay? Notice I say we, I didn't say I, because it's not about me, okay? My job is done when you accomplish your goal, okay? So I want y'all to remember that. The 7- and 8-year-old team, in the beginning, we say we wasn't going to do it because we didn't think we could compete. It was just that bad at one time. Until I sat down and I talked to Coach Pat. I said, Pat, we're going to do it. He said, Jerry, I don't know. I said, let's give it a shot. So we start putting people in places where they're supposed to be, where they're supposed to go. And look how it turned out. Not only did we did good in regular season, you went all the way to the regional tournament. You lost the first game in regionals, okay? I was there. We lost the first game that Friday night in regionals. Didn't think we can bounce back, okay? Me and Ken got with Pat outside as a staff and director. We talked about it. We told him things he needed to work on to help him out. He enforced it. He did it. And they won the regional champion for the 7- and 8-year-old. The story behind the 9- and 10-year-old is basically the same. They had a rough road to go on, okay? We was playing our league. We was playing against people that more populated. I'm gonna leave it like that. It's more populated than anybody else. For instance, if you know how high school goes, you got single A, double A, triple A, 5A, okay? We was on a single A level playing against a 5A school, put it like that. And we was competing. So no matter what people say or do, all I want y'all to do is keep pushing. Because like on the back of that shirt say, it's not the I, it's no I in team, okay? It's we, and we build what? Champions. And that's the motto, whether I'm here today or tomorrow. Remember, we build champions. Always remember that. All right? Same thing with the 9 and 10. They played out of their league when they got to regionals. Okay? We got knocked out in the 3rd round. Okay? That made us advance to the nationals. Okay? Get the nationals. Guess who up for the national championship? Our home rivalry. Donaldsonville, St. James. Out of 28 teams, we rank number 2 in the whole nation. Okay? Now, we had teams come all the way, if you don't think it's that serious, we had teams come all the way from Finland. I'm telling you, from Finland. That's in Texas? No, that's, I don't know where it is, but that was the furthest team that was out there with the 11 and 12-year-old division was Finland. Okay, we was asked to host the nationals this year, but I'm had to get with my superiors to find out what road they want to take. I'm gonna have to know something in the next couple of weeks if we're gonna be able to produce it. Okay, but we qualified for hosting the national championship right here in Gonzales 2 years in a row. So we are moving forward. Okay, so at this time I want to bring up Mayor Sullivan to come and help present the certificates to our kid on the strength of the city of Downsonville that we both represent Donaldsonville and we represent the parish of Ascension. And all these championships coming in the parish, I guess we the best thing in the whole nation, I guess. The West Side. So I'm gonna let the mayor say a few words and then we're gonna issue out your certificates. Thank you.
Jerry said it all. I just want to congratulate all of the young men that played in the Biddy basketball program and the All-Stars. This just shows you what teamwork can do. Even on the lowest level, teamwork is what make everything goes and brings in champions. So again, I just want to thank everybody for their participation. Thank the coaches because y'all take a lot of time dealing with other people's children and go through a lot. So we thank y'all for y'all dedication as well. And thanks Mr. Butler, Councilman Alvin Thomas and all for y'all dedication as well, and Joe Robert.
Again, we want to thank the mayor, and I forgot to appreciate and thank Miss Michelle Tompley, is the director, and also Mr. King. Mr. King also was also, Mr. King is here, and we appreciate you all. And I'm very excited in the way the program is going, and we would hope that we continue to move forward doing the things that we need to do as a team and working together. So again, I want to thank the whole Recreation Department, Mr. King, your staff, and everybody that participate in it. At this time, I want to have Mr. Joe Robert, representing District 2 on the West Bank. I want you all to congratulate, thank him for coming. And he'll be giving out the certificates.
Great job, great job. That's 2 teams of champions right there. You know, y'all apply that to everything in life, and y'all gonna be some great men, without a doubt. All right, we're gonna start handing out. Robert Sullivan. Malik Williams. Philip Craig. Antonio Johnson. Kenyati Solomon. Devon Williams. Braylon Whittington. Thorne Joshua. Darren Harris. Mason Joshua. Kylan Green. Courtney Landry. And we've already talked to head coach Kenneth Miller Sr. Here we go. Assistant coach Moses Young. Assistant coach Ryan Bell. And director coach Jerry Butler. Congratulations, boys. Y'all come up and get a picture with us. Oh, we got some more?
No, we don't.
Hey, boys, y'all
at this
come over
time,
here
we'll
and we'll take a picture.
We'll have a picture with the. No, not them yet, Joe. We'll do them next. That's the 7 and 8. This is 9 and 10. We'll take the picture of 9 and 10 first, then we'll come back.
Y'all come this way, boys. They just slide on through. There you go.
No. For the first time.
I don't know. We got a tall one.
Oh, yeah. We'll see him again and again and again.
Put it down, Darren. Yeah, right there.
There you go. Good job, guys.
Good job.
Yep, on this. Huh? No, I got the coach. All right, at this time, unfortunate, we had a mix-up with some of our certificates, and we're going to have our head coach, Patrick Jupiter, to come up and introduce his team for us. And Coden. How you doing? Little stuff. Okay. I need my assistant coach Courtney up here with me too. Jerry, ain't none of them. Come on,
Look like my coach don't want to talk today. I guess he talked to me on the outside. First of all, we got our defensive player of the year, Kenzel Littles. We have also our MVP and All-American, Caden Nicholas. We have Jace Dorsey, Ray John Jacobs, another MVP, TJ Richard, Tyrone Richard. And we have our most improved player, Courtney Landry, Carson Finley. We have KD, Kenny Miller Jr., and Deltrick Landry. And all of them coming back next year. I forgot to tell y'all, parents, make sure the kids meet me at Raising Cane's when we leave here. I guess I got to feed them one more time.
Again, want to thank you all for coming, and I promise you we had to mix up with the certificates. They will get their certificates, and we thank you all for coming. We appreciate the support, and again, thank the coaches. Coach Jupiter did a great job. Thank you. Thank all of you for coming. We appreciate it. Parents, again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, we're taking a picture. Come on, let's go up here. Come on, kids, over here.
Free Canes tonight. Free Canes tonight. Hey, Coach, we're coming for Canes. We're all coming. Yeah, I want some Canes.
Slide in here.
You're all gonna be a king. Yeah. Everybody meet at Kansas. Everything on the map.
CAG. You.
Okay, yes.
Y'all want to move on that?
1, 2, 3. Done.
Thank you all.
Good job, boys.
Good job.
There you go. Almost sat down. I wouldn't let you do that. I might have. Yeah, whatever. I might have.
All right, good job, boys. Congrats to y'all. Whew. Let's see. Where were we? Yeah, congratulations. I think we just recognized about 80 Ascension Parish kids, so congrats to y'all, and thank all the volunteers and coaches. We really, really appreciate y'all's service. All right, we're going to move on to item number 6, Parish President's Report. Mr. President, you have anything for us?
We do. I'm going to keep it short, Chair. Thank you very much. Evening, Council. First, I'd like to start off with an update of the Household Hazardous Material Collections Day that was held this past April 1st in Lamar-Dixon. The event was a huge success and exceeded previous years. We thanks for the appreciation to our volunteers, Ascension Parish employees, Sheriff's Department, Santa Monica Fifth Ward, Fire and Rescue, DEQ, Shell, BASF, and Always Volunteer Ascension. We could not have done it without all of your help. We also received donations from PQ Builder Supply, Lowe's, Walmart, and the Jambalaya Festival Association, and many others. We serviced 555 cars with a collection of 844 tires, which is over 19,000 pounds, 16,670 pounds of scrap metal, 3,506 pounds of lead-acid batteries, and 118 5-gallon buckets of latex paint. These are the results we can all be proud of. Otherwise, much of the material we have collected would have ended up on the side of the road or in the ditch or even in our parish waterways. We'll be hosting our next household event on October 7th, 2023, and we look forward to seeing all of y'all there. And to stay on this cleanup mission this week is Love the Boot. We will be hosting our annual Trash Bash this Saturday, April 22nd, at 4 locations throughout the parish. This will be held from 8 a.m. to noon at Veterans Park, meet Ascension Parish Library on Irma, LA1, meeting at the DPW West on Tybro Drive in Donaldsonville.
Tebow.
What is it?
Tebow.
Sorry. Edenbourne Parkway, meeting at Lamar-Dixon, and Parker Road, a meeting at the Prairieville Primary. I would like to encourage everyone to participate. This is a parish-wide. We'll provide a T-shirt and all items to pick up trash and finish with the jambalaya, courtesy of the Jambalaya Festival Association. That concludes my report, Chair. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, Coach?
Yes, John.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. Also, Mr. President, we thank the parish. We thank you all for giving us the floor tonight with the recreation. Things are going real well and things are moving real good on the West Bank for that aspect. Also, I would like to thank the participants, the city of Donaldsonville, and some of our local churches will be participating tomorrow in the Saturday in the Trash Bash. We want to invite everybody, and you mentioned it, and I'm very thankful that the city mayor, you all are coming out and help us out with the Trash Bash. So thank you all, and we appreciate, looking forward to cleaning up Ascension Parish. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you. Item 7, the consent agenda. Ms. Secretary.
Approval of renewable master contract for professional services between Ascension Parish Government and CSRS LLC for engineering review agency services, total contract amount not to exceed $250,000. Approval of contract between Ascension Parish Government and Meyer Engineers Limited for consulting services roundabout at PR 929 and Parker Roads for construction engineering inspection for a maximum not to exceed amount of $128,504. The parish is responsible for 20%, and DOTD is responsible for 80% in federal funds. Approval of contract between Ascension Parish Government and Meyer Engineers Limited for consulting services roundabout at Church Point Road and Roddy Road for construction, engineering, and inspection for a maximum not to exceed amount of $265,052. The parish is responsible for 20% and DOTD is responsible for 80% in federal funds. Approval of the professional selection committee recommendation to select the highest scoring respondent to the request for qualifications, quality engineering and surveying for the Butch Gore Park renovations.
All right, would anyone like to remove anything from the consent agenda? Okay, I have a motion from Mr. Robert, a second by Ms. Casso. Any objections? Hearing none, so moved. Item 8 on the general business, 8A, update by Kendrick Keys. I believe that's going to be you, Mr. Fournier.
All these certificates here. I don't know what to do here. Mr. Chairman, members of the council, I'd like to give you an update as much as I can about the Kendrick Keys project, all right? And just to let you know that the parish has put on pause the contract for Kendrick Keys doing their update on our Unified Land Development Code. There are various reasons for this. I think the most important and the biggest reason is that we're trying to give the development community enough time to work through the changes that we did last year. Remember, we had batch 1, which really dealt with streets and traffic and things of this sort, and batch 2, which was the drainage. And there were major changes that occurred when we adopted those 2 batches. So we're giving the development community the opportunity to kind of work through those the best they can. But we are moving forward with a lot of the recommendations that were visited when they were working with us at the time. The biggest one actually is going to be going before the Zoning Commission this upcoming next week, and that's to create a new zoning category called countryside. It's the area that's in the state designated coastal zone. Yes, Ascension does have part of the coastal zone in the parish. We're looking at a minimum 5-acre lot size. There's going to be no fill in that area. And we're looking for a corridor for the water to come down that's going to protect the Santa Mata area and the lower lying areas of the parish that were inundated during the 2016 flood. So that's one thing we're moving with. It's going to be on the Zoning Commission agenda for next Wednesday, and it'll come to you as a council for approval, ultimate approval. Secondly, we're instituting, and it's going before the Zoning Commission next week, a conditional use permit for apartments, right? And right now, apartments are a use by right in certain zoning categories. What we wanted to do was have a conditional use permit issued for apartments. They can go through, do all the necessary studies, which they do now, but it comes before the Zoning Commission, Planning Commission, in order to get approval, all right? And then ultimately, it'll come to you as a council for approval of apartments, all right? Lastly, I'll bring up the fact that Kendrick Keys had a sub-consultant working with them called Tischler Bice. Tischler Bice has given us a draft report on funding mechanisms that might be available out in the field in order to fund infrastructure, right? It's quite an interesting, we've had several meetings with them by Zoom, and we hope to present that to you within the next month or so, all right? So that's kind of where we are with the Kendrick Keys work. Again, they are on pause. We didn't want them coming to the meeting because it'd be a draw on the amount of money that we pay them, so I thought I'd give you an update. And Parish President has some comments he might like to make.
Chair.
Yeah, Mr. President.
Thank you. So from an administrative standpoint, we have decided to wait and see what the current regulations that we have passed and what the effect that has on development. We've already seen one unintended consequence, which we probably need to address in the near future. And so from the administrative push, we're not pushing for any particular legislation. With that being said, I'm in full support of the council as a whole or as individuals. If any item that you would like to look into further or further legislation, I'll be happy to support. But at this point in time, the administration is a wait and see, and to see what the effect on the current regulations that we've passed and what that has done to development, so we can do I guess, an overall appraisal of the effects of the legislation we passed. But again, we're in support of the council choosing to look at anything or any particular individual. And that's whether Kendrick Keys or another firm of y'all's choosing would choose to seek to go ahead and look at anything. anything. So just wanted to add that note.
But we do plan on finishing our contract with Kenny Keys, having them actually finish the proposal that they started?
That's the current plan, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm very interested about the countryside zoning for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Minimum 5-acre lots, no field. That sounds just, initially that sounds like, all right, your land is pretty much unusable or absolutely worthless.
Well, generally speaking, the area that we're proposing that zoning category beyond is pretty much marshland. You know, it's the area that's, it does not include any of the properties that are along the diversion canal. We left those out of the category. They're going to remain zoned as they are now. But anything that's outside of that area and also outside of the protection levy, we're going to have that zoning category apply. Right?
Yeah, I just wanted to note, same concern as you. We looked at the map. There's already very, 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 I mean, I don't even know if there's any residents, maybe other than some put-up camps, maybe somewhere that we can't recognize in this zone. This is strictly gives us a higher rating through our firms, but it is strictly coastal zone, and it is basically in the swamp. But we'll make sure we send that map out again to the full council so they can look at that and do an assessment.
And I might add, in conjunction with the grant that the parish received to create pathways for the water on Highway 22, this is going to be in coordination with that effort as well, right? So we think it's really going to be a plus for the parish in terms of letting the water flow, right? And protecting
I'm interested
properties.
to see.
Yeah.
So, okay. Do we have, Mr. Robert, go ahead.
I just wanted to reiterate what both the president and Councilman Melanson said is whether it does the parish or benefits the parish or not, we need to be sure that this property is out of commerce, basically. Not just not having residents on it or anything else. I mean, I'd hope any property off of any major highways, anything like that, we would be good. But I'd like to sit down with the firm and look over that also.
We're happy to do that, Council Member.
Mr. Lawler.
Yeah, good report. I just have a couple questions. I guess things that I'd like to see get involved in it. We talked about our ponds. I think it was last week. We had some issues, with new construction ponds. Is that something that either Kenny Keys can look at, or can have somebody else look at how we construct ponds so that they're more durable for the long term?
I might leave that actually to the H&TB drainage study that we're doing and the drainage master plan. I think it'd be better off addressed there than in the work that Kenny Keys is doing. These are large regional ponds that you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about even when a neighborhood develops, sometimes they put a pond in.
Yep.
And a lot of times they start sloughing off within 4 or 5 years. And, we had talked about having to use funds to fix those. A lot of neighborhoods can't. I think one of the keys before we start adding taxes to a neighborhood or something, we'll get that to the next thing, that we want to make sure that they're built to a standard. So it really is more of a development code thing.
Right. Okay.
So that's something we need to look at. Also, like with zoning, I know one of the ultimate goals was with Kenny Keys to revise all of our zoning, not just add this new thing, because we have a master plan and we want to make sure our zoning coordinates with the master plan. Where do we stand with that?
Part of that rezoning is creation of this category that we showed you. Secondly, we're looking at some of the densities within existing categories, and so that's an ongoing effort with them as well.
Do we have a time? Well, I mean, they're not working, so I guess we don't have a timetable on that is the concern.
Not yet. No, I don't have a time frame for you in order to get something, but, I'm assuming it'll be at the latter part of the year, somewhere along those lines. Again, we're trying to work with the development community to determine, how the ordinances that we passed last year how they're working through those, right?
Okay, but one of the big goals, I know the master plan was done 5 or 6 years ago, and we're still not to the point. We still got a lot of spot zoning here and there. We've got zoning that doesn't quite work in areas. We really need to get on that.
Right.
I mean, when did we stop this? When did we stop working with Kenny Keys?
I want to say that was about a month and a half ago, about 6 to 8 weeks ago.
Okay, and then the last thing, what is the unintended consequence that we found?
It was the fence issue.
The fence
with
issue.
With existing subdivisions versus new subdivisions. I think the intent was for it to comply to new subdivision, but that problem, that language was not in there. So we need to look at seeing if there's a variance for which we can grant, and I don't know the year, two subdivisions that are 2 years or older, 3 years or older, or a certain percentage of servitude that is encumbered. I don't know quite the number, but obviously we have to have legal look at that too. But if they would be granted a variance, they would need to sign something so they understand if a drainage project did take place, they would have to remove the fence at their cost, so that if we granted them that variance, they would understand completely and would sign a document stating that they would move it at their cost, or we would remove it and then charge the property itself. So that's where we're working on. Ricky Compton's working on some language.
Okay, cool.
So we anticipate that pushing through the process as well, and eventually coming before the council.
Okay, I just don't want to see us lose momentum working towards revising and strengthening our building code.
Right. That's,
So I do want to make another note, especially with the zoning. I can tell you from a parish, I'm very cautious, and I'll say that, of doing any rezoning without major input from citizens and businesses. I think one of the downfalls of doing it last time was a lot of commercial property got changed to residential or vice versa, and no notification was sent out, no public meetings and so on. But not to make that issue again. But I just want to talk about the elephant in the room, and I'll say it, you know, and I'll probably always now pronounce his name wrong. Is it Tarek?
Tarek.
When Kenny Keys lost Tarek, they lost a gem, and we saw it fall off. I'm just be honest with you. Okay, and y'all need to know that. We just saw a tremendous. He was working with us hand in hand. He had knew the problems. He did the walkthroughs with us. He visited every part of the parish. And when he left, there was a tremendous fall off there. So you just need to know that, and that's why I mentioned, listen, we can go back to Kenny Keys. It's fine. You may want to see somebody else or do something else, but I did want to mention that elephant in the room.
Yeah. And that was a big loss, quite frankly. And you know, he got picked up, by the way, by Amazon, and is doing all of their work in the western United States. So, you know, it was a big move for him.
Did they pick him up with like a drone?
We should.
No, I will. Look, and if that's a major concern, you know, with Tarek leaving, and maybe, you know, we feel like Kenny Keys, the firm itself, isn't still up to the task. Look, I mean, come to us. Let's finish what we started. If we have to find another firm, I think the body would be open to hearing that proposition.
Okay.
But I definitely don't want to, you know, stop doing what we had started last year.
Definitely.
I do have a question from Coach Thomas.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Jerome, this is pretty much a little bit off what we was talking about with the Board of Adjustments that we'll be meeting with. I'm wanting to look into our situation with the trailers in the parish.
Right.
We have the ordinance that we don't have an ordinance on moving trailers into the parish, certain model.
Right.
Along with combating with the city of Downsonville.
Right.
They have an ordinance that is certain year-old trailers you can put in the city limits.
Right.
And we don't have it at all. So I want to ask if you would look into maybe drawing up something that we can look into doing that. We have a situation that's coming up similar to what we're talking about. So
we will definitely look into that, and I'll also coordinate with our building official, right? Because, you know, we don't have an age certain date for trailers, but they have to comply with the building code, right? So that's how we monitor that.
I would ask that you look into it for me.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay.
Any more questions for Mr. Drone? All right, thank you, Mr. Drone.
I'll just stay here.
How much longer we got?
I'll just stay here for the next item. I'm sorry?
How much longer you got before we lose you for good? You hadn't given us a
mid-June.
yet. Mid-June?
Mid-June, yes. I'm delaying everything till July.
That's a smart man. All right, moving on to item 8B, resolution requesting introduction and adoption of legislation to amend section 4690-13 of Title 33 of Louisiana Revised Statutes of 1950 as amended and provided for other matters in connection therewith. I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Lawler and Ms. Casso. Mr. Ogeron's not here. So, y'all.
Okay. Yeah, the only reason I wanted this brought, we didn't have the document before when we voted on it. And there was a major change that wasn't disclosed, which I'm not against. But I think the public has to know that we're removing, well, this is for residential infrastructure districts. So when we build a new subdivision, I'm saying this so the parish knows, I know you know it better than I do. So when we build a new subdivision, the new subdivision is going to pay for its own roads. It's something we instituted a couple years back, pay for the maintenance of their own roads.
Correct.
And what this new revision does, it removes new residential. So now other subdivisions, existing subdivisions could have their taxes raised to maintain their own roads. Now, they would have to vote on it themselves. The council administration is not going to be able to get together and say, we're going to apply this to an existing neighborhood without their consent. But I still thought it was very important that the public knows that that's a possibility now, that they would have to vote on it. That's why I don't like having to vote on things that we don't get to read ahead of time.
I totally understand. Yes. And I might add, one of the reasons that we remove the new in front of subdivision is that it helps us comply with an ordinance that you passed before, which states that if any subdivision has private streets and they want to become public streets and included in the maintenance system, they have to create a road infrastructure district. So basically, we can go back to these old districts, and if the HOA or a number of property owners want to create a road infrastructure district on their old subdivision, they can do so. So we're not limiting it just to new subdivisions. They can go back and do that. But as you said, it's a vote of them. They apply, and we would cast, set up an election, and they would have to vote for it. Right?
Yeah.
Ms. Terry?
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I agree, and I'm thrilled to see this, frankly. I think there are older subdivisions in our communities that might want to take advantage of this because the ability to schedule maintenance is much greater whenever folks are participating. So I'm pleased to see the change, and I support moving this through to the legislature.
All right. Thank you.
Any more comments or questions?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Strong. All right, so we're moving on to item 8C now, which is the item that we added under Chair's Edition, and this is the purpose of this agreement is to establish an intergovernmental agreement between the Central Parish Government and the City of Dowsonville for the purposes of repairing streetlights by utilizing funds from Lighting District 1A and Lighting District 4 in Crescent Place and DeVille.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Coach, a second by Ms. Casso. Any objection?
No objection, but I have a question.
Okay.
Just a comment. This situation, we've been working on this for quite some time, and Mr. Patrick Goldsmith, in conversating with him, had some fast reaction. It got stalled up with energy and the lights in DeVille Village and the lights at Crescent Place. I'd just like to read the obligation of Ascension Parish. The parish will utilize funds from the respective lighting district to make necessary repairs. Also, the City of Dowsonville responsibility to grant the parish authority to perform contract work on property in the city for the repairs, street lights in Crescent Place, subdivision in DeVille Village. And both of these subdivisions badly need the repairs coming forward. I want to thank the attorneys for working so hard. Mr. John Paul, I think he did a super job in getting around some of the time limit that we would have had in order to fix these lights in DeVille and in Crescent Place. So thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Paul, and thank the mayor. Appreciate it.
All right, we have a motion by Coach Thomas, a second by Ms. Casso. Any objection? Hearing none, so moved. All right, we are moving on to our condemnation proceedings. Item 9A, which is located at 16021 Henderson Bayou in Prairieville, Council District 5. Ms. Patrice, how are you?
Good afternoon. My name is Patrice Johnson, and I'm requesting condemnation of property located at 16021 Henderson Bayou. And I'm here if you have any questions.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Casso, a second by Mr. Lawler. Any objection? Hearing none, so moved. Item 9B, condemnation proceeding for 18130 Beechwood Subdivision Road in Council District 5.
Patrice Johnson again, requesting condemnation of 18130 Beechwood Subdivision Road, Prairieville.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Lawler, a second by Ms. Casso. Any objection? I should ask this first. Do we have anyone here of the property owner to speak for, well, I actually apologize.
First one we can.
I apologize. Is there anyone here to speak on behalf of the property owner for 9A, which is 16021 Henderson Bayou? Oh, well, thank you. Look at you. You're making it easy. Okay, all right, so we're still good on 9A, the Henderson Bayou. So we are on 18130 Beechwood. Is there anyone here on behalf of the property owner who would like to speak? All right, I don't see anyone. So we have a motion by Mr. Lawler, a second by Ms. Casso. Any objection? Hearing none, so move. 9C, 18717 Manchac Point Road, Prairieville, Council District 5.
Patrice Johnson again, requesting condemnation of 18717 Manchac Point Road.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Lawler, a second by Ms. Casso. Is there anyone to speak on behalf of the property owner for 18717 Manchac Point Drive? Okay. Motion, is there any objection to the motion? Hearing none, so moved. And Ms. Patrice, I have to tell you, the packages that you have worked on and put together for these are spectacular.
Thank you.
So the amount of information and detail in each one of them really this is always a tough process, messing with someone's property, correct? But the detail that you have here makes it easier and easier to understand why it's necessary. So I want to give you a shout out. And always being so responsive on everything.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I can't say I do it alone. I do have a small team, and they're new, and they're working out really well. I want to just thank you for that recognition. I can't wait to tell them tomorrow.
Awesome. So Darren actually tried to take credit, but I knew he wasn't doing it. I knew you were the one who was actually doing all the work.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Y'all have
Thank
a good
you.
night.
All right, introduction of ordinances, item 10A. I'll remind everyone that we do not need a second. Introduction of ordinance to amend Ascension Parish Code of Ordinances, Chapter 16, Personnel, Article 1, in General, Section 16-1, Personnel Manual and Official Pay Classification, last adopted on January 2023. Section 4, Employee Benefits Programs, Holiday Pay, in order to adopt one new parish holiday and clarify habitually confusing policy language, Juneteenth holiday. And this was sponsored by Mr. Turner, myself, and Mr. Mason.
So moved.
Motion introduced by Mr. Lawler. All right, public hearing ordinances, 11A, the reading of an ordinance to declare a surplus and authorize a transfer by quitclaim deed to Jameson Door and Heather Door, a portion of the property known as West Million Road in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Mr. Kenneth.
The transfer by quitclaim deed to Jameson Door and Heather Door, a portion of the property known as the West Million Road in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Whereas the parish of Ascension may have rights, title, or interest to a certain piece of property, more particularly described in Exhibit A attached here to and made a part hereof, there is surplus no longer viable to retain and no longer needed for public purpose. And whereas Ascension Parish Council, through the powers granted through the House, under the Home Rule Charter, has the authority to declare property as surplus and transfer said property according to law. And whereas the fair market value of the property described in Exhibit A is $1,710, whereas the parish of Ascension desires to declare said immovable property as surplus and transfer according to law for fair market value, and therefore be it ordained by the Ascension Parish Council, acting in its capacity as governing authority, that it is hereby declared in the immovable property attached hereto and made a part hereof, Exhibit A, as surplus, and authorize the parish president to execute a quitclaim deed to Jameson Door and Heather Door for the fair market value of $1,710 of the immovable property attached here to and made a part hereof as Exhibit A. This ordinance having been submitted to a vote, the vote thereon was as follows.
We have a motion to open public hearing by Mr. Cagnolati, a second by Ms. Casso. Motion to close public hearing by Mr. Cagnolati. A second by Ms. Casso. The chair will entertain a motion to move the ordinance. We have a motion to move the ordinance by Ms. Casso, a second by Coach Thomas. Any objection? Hearing none, so moved. 11D, reading of an ordinance, to amend an ordinance to repeal descriptions and designations of existing Ascension Parish Council districts, establish new Ascension Parish Council districts, define the territory of each new district, describe the boundaries of each new district, designate each new district, and to address other matters relative thereto. Mr. Kenneth.
To repeal descriptions and designations of existing Ascension Parish Council districts, establish new Ascension Parish Council districts, define the territory of each new district, describe the boundaries of each new district, designate each new district, and to address other matters relative thereto. Section 1, there are presently 11 single-member voting districts for Ascension Parish Council designated as districts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Said districts having been created by the Home Rule Charter of the Ascension Parish. Section 2, Ascension Parish Council commissioned a reapportionment study to calculate the census 2020 population for each district, which determined that unequal apportionment of the population exists, and therefore the boundaries of single-member voting districts should be changed to reflect as nearly as possible and equal apportionment of said population as required by law. Section 3, the Ascension Parish Council, through several publicly held redistricting workshops, has developed Draft Plan 4B. Section 4, Draft Plan 4B is hereby formally designated as Plan A and rebalances the population and demographics of each district in accordance with the Voting Rights Act of 1965 as amended, as well as applicable state law. Section 5, be it ordained by the Ascension Parish Council on behalf of the Ascension Parish Consolidated Government that Ascension Parish Council districts, their territory, boundaries, and designations be hereby adopted under Plan A and as described in Exhibit A. Section 6, be it further ordained by the Ascension Parish Council on behalf of the Ascension Parish Consolidated Government that the Ascension Parish Council districts that were adopted by the Parish Governing Authority in 2011 shall remain in full force and effect for all purposes except for the election of members of the Ascension Parish Council at the 2023 regular election until 12 a.m. January 1st, 2024. Section 7, be it further ordained by the Ascension Parish Council on behalf of the Ascension Parish Consolidated Government that the Ascension Parish Council districts established in this ordinance shall be effective for the limited purpose of qualifying for an election and the election to the Ascension Parish Council at the 2023 regular election and shall become fully effective for all purposes at 12 a.m. January 1st, 2024. Section 8, each precinct and municipality referenced in this ordinance means that precinct or municipality, its boundaries, and its territory as adopted by the Parish Governing Authority by ordinance on or before the date of adoption of this ordinance, regardless of any subsequent boundary changes, and the precinct or municipality. Section 9, if any word, clause, phrase, section, or other portion of this ordinance is determined to be legally null, void, invalid, illegal, unconstitutional, or otherwise illegal or unenforceable, all remaining words, clauses, phrases, sections, and other portions of this ordinance shall remain in full force and effect. The provisions of this ordinance hereby being declared to be fully severable. Section 10, the ordinance shall become effective upon approval by the parish president or as otherwise provided in the Home Rule Charter for a consolidated government for Ascension Parish, whichever occurs sooner.
Motion to open public hearing by Ms. Casso, second by Mr. Robert. Motion to close public hearing by Mr. Robert, a second by Ms. Casso. Motion to move the ordinance by Ms. Casso. A second by Mr. Robert. Do we have any objection? Hearing none, so moved. 11G, reading of an ordinance to amend Ascension Parish Code of Ordinances, Chapter 8, Emergency Management, Section 8-11, Underground Pipeline Damage Prevention. Mr. Kenneth.
Purpose to amend the Ascension Parish Code of Ordinances, Chapter 8, Emergency Management, Section 8-11, Underground Pipeline Damage Prevention. Whereas Ascension Parish is a local governmental subdivision as defined by Article 6, Section 44 of the Louisiana Constitution of 1974. And whereas Ascension Parish is a governing and responsible body over roads, bridges, and other public ways. And whereas Article 6 of the Home Rule Charter of Ascension Parish adopted May 4, 1993 identifies the process and manner in which to adopt ordinances regulating the laws of this parish, and whereas the Codes of Ordinances of Ascension Parish, Chapter 8, Section 8-11 was last amended on November 21st, 2013, now therefore be it ordained by the Ascension Parish Governing Authority that Code of Ordinances of Ascension Parish, Chapter 8, Emergency Management, Section 8-11 be deleted in its entirety, see Exhibit A, attached hereto and made a part hereof. Effective date, this ordinance shall be effective, fully in full effect as permitted by law. This ordinance having been submitted to a vote, the vote thereon was as follows.
I have a motion to open public hearing by Mr. Robert, a second by Mr. Cagnolati. Motion to close public hearing by Mr. Cagnolati. Second by Ms. Casso. Motion to move the ordinance by Mr. Cagnolati. A second by Ms. Casso. Any objection? Hearing none, so move. 11J, reading of an ordinance to amend the Central Parish Code of Ordinances, Chapter 19, Roads and Bridges and Other Public Ways, Article 3, Pipeline Construction. Mr. Kenneth.
Purpose, to amend the Ascension Parish Code of Ordinances, Chapter 19, Road, Bridges, and Other Ways, Article 3, Pipeline Construction. Whereas Ascension Parish is a local governmental subdivision as defined by Article 6, Section 44 of the Louisiana Constitution, 1974. And whereas Ascension Parish is governing and responsible body over roads, bridges, and other public ways. And whereas Article 6 of the Home Rule Charter of Ascension Parish, adopted May 4, 1993, identifies the process and manner in which to adopt the ordinances regulating the laws of this parish. And whereas the Code of Ordinances of Ascension Parish, Chapter 19, Article 3, Section 19-36 through Section 19-45 was adopted on August 2nd, 2012. Now therefore be it ordained by Ascension Parish Governing Authority that the Code of Ordinances of Ascension Parish, Chapter 19, Roads, Bridges, and Other Public Ways, Article 3, Pipeline Construction, Section 19-36 through 19-45 be amended as more fully described in Exhibit A attached here to and made part hereof. Effective date, this ordinance shall be in full effect as permitted by law. The ordinance having been submitted to a vote, the vote thereon was as follows.
Motion to open public hearing by Mr. Robert. A second by Mr. Wagisback. Motion to close public. It's not our first time, people. Motion to close public hearing by Ms. Casso, a second by Mr. Lawler.
Motion to move the ordinance.
Motion to move the ordinance by Mr. Lawler. A second by Ms. Casso. Any objection? No objection. So moved. Somebody give it to me. Item number 12.
Motion adjourned.
Motion adjourned by Mr. Thomas. A second by Mr. Robert. We are adjourned.